Radio Dukacita.
Selamat malam dan a very good evening to everyone. My name is Dick. I will be your DJ for tonight. I won't be playing any songs, but I will be reading letters. Before I go on, there will be a QR code. This is especially for our viewers at home. I want to invite our fellow viewers, if you feel motivated, inspired to share your stories, the stories for your loved ones who have left us, please scan the QR code, and then you'll be linked to our volunteers, and then you can share with me. I will be speaking in Malay and English, bilingual, right? Okay. So for those of you who cannot speak or cannot understand Malay, don't worry. I believe the content that we will be discussing is universal enough for you to understand. Saya ditemani sahabat saya Afwan. Kau okey tak malam ni? Okey. Macam sedih je tadi kau punya Piramdi tu. Okey. Alright. So malam ni saya diberikan tanggungjawab untuk membaca beberapa surat lah. Dan surat-surat ini sebenarnya sangat-sangat bermakna, sangat-sangat berharga. Surat-surat ini ditulis untuk mereka yang telah meninggalkan kita. Maybe it's written to express things that are unsaid when that person is still alive, to express grief, to express guilt at times. We have opened this segment for members of the public to actually contribute letters, and we receive a lot, and we thank them. As we were going through the letters, we noticed a few themes. It's not just about sadness. It's not just about grief. It's not just about I'm sorry. It's also about celebrating the legacy. It's also about exploring options, what could have been done. It's also about respecting the ones that have left, their wishes, their thoughts, maruah mereka ada kalanya. Pernah satu ketika mungkin dalam hidup kita nanti, apabila kita berada di ambang maut mungkin, takut dengar, kita mungkin akan berasa, maybe we will feel helpless, and we hope that in those hours, people do talk to us and ask us what is important to us before we go. Okay? Wait, I check whether I have said everything that I should have said, so that I don't have to write a letter to the directors later. Okay. So please do scan the QR code for those at home. I know the camera is there, and one more camera is there. Please do scan the QR code so that your stories can be shared to us. While we're waiting for that, if the calls do come, if they don't, it's okay. I will be reading the letters. Every night, I read 2 letters. This night is no exception. The first letter is sent by Sherry. Dear Mum, I hope you are happily singing KTV and playing mahjong where you are. Although I don't believe in afterlife, this gives me some comfort to think about it. When I was really young, we had a close relationship where I would offer to massage your shoulders and legs after watching TV. However, due to your beliefs and motherly intentions to protect me, I felt like a caged bird with no opinions as I grew older. I turned to my friends and shared with them my thoughts, joy and woe. They knew so much about me than the people that I was living with. I felt close to Dad, and maybe that annoyed you, as he wasn't the one bringing home the money we needed. Dad had been gone for more than 10 years, but till this day I regret that I wasn't at home to spend the last moments with him, as I had went to work, while you told Sis to stay home, as you felt something was off. I can still recall the moment I went for work, and the next, at the morgue, I was heartbroken and resentful that you did not let me know. 6 months after his passing, you were diagnosed with cancer. It was so unfair to you. After providing private nursing care and a foreign domestic worker to take care of Dad's needs, even though he wasn't an exemplary model of a husband and a father. No, the daughters had to become the caregivers and the parents. The years of tiger parenting had driven a deep chasm in our relationship. Although I converted to part-time work, it wasn't enough. You felt lonely even when I was at home with you. The last year was particularly hard for you. Hard for you, me, and Sis. Ironically, I was the one with you at the last moments instead of Sis, who is much closer to you. I hope you're okay with that. I told you to go peacefully, as we were both adults, capable of managing our own lives, even if I have a chronic condition. We are both doing as well as we can be, and I hope you are too. When we hear such words, most often in such letters, we sense not only grief, but also we can also sense the difficulty in this person's wanting to let go, sukar melepaskan. Apabila seseorang itu meninggal, selalunya kita disuruh untuk berdoa, kan? Berdoa. Semoga rohnya ditempatkan dalam golongan orang-orang yang beriman. Yes, we do pray. Yes, we ask that God place our dearly departed with the chosen, with the people that God loves. Unfortunately, how about us? How about the living when faced with death? Dalam masyarakat Melayu, selalunya kita senyap, ya. Selalunya apabila when we are faced with grief, it is not always a discussion party, you know. We don't sit down. How are you feeling? Okay. What about arwah that made you miss him? Is everything okay with you? Adakah segala urusan dah diselesaikan? We don't have that. We cope in our own little circle, if we do have a circle, or we deal with it alone. Grief comes in many forms, I believe. If you do have, opposing opinions, or you would like to speak your mind, please raise up your hand. Our volunteers will gladly pass you a mic. Let's just talk about grief. The 2 nights that we did this, we are told, or we shared, and we learned that grief comes in many forms, and you do not have to express grief in the ways of another person or another community. You do not have to conform, but you must grieve. It's necessary. And in that grief, you must also be aware that this is something you do to heal. Ada orang akan terkenang dalam bus, in a bus ride, that 30 minutes bus ride, and suddenly you pass by a certain place that, you used to frequent with dengan arwahnya, and then you would, and then the tears starts to flow. Ada orang tak nangis pun ketika dalam majlis pengebumian, Ada orang tak tahu apa nak buat. Ada orang tahu apa nak buat, tapi daripada segi urusan, you have you know who to call, you know what to do, and after all that business is done, you go back, you sit down, and then the emotion starts to come in. I think if we've never felt the impact of death, then we've yet to understand how to continue living our life. That is what I feel. If you do, I'm open to discussion. Kalau ada sesiapa yang rasa, taklah Big, saya rasa macam ni, macam gini lah. Silakan. I would like to say, the last few nights, we were very fortunate enough to be learning from many different people. The first night, we had a cancer survivor. She deals with grief. She deals with grief, learning about her terminal illness in many stages. There was anger, there was fear, but most importantly, she had support. Right? Dia mempunyai sokongan, dia mempunyai keluarga, kawan-kawan yang membantulah. A simple "How are you?" can help. Ya, orang Melayu ni susah sikit. Kalau lelaki lagi susah. Macam, kau okey tak? Okey that's it. If it's women, maybe it'll be better. I wouldn't want to generalize the issue, but somehow it's like that, The women takes care of the grieving process. And at times, the women themselves don't have time to grieve. The men takes care of the business. Usually, they don't want to talk about grief. When my father lost his mother, my grandmother, he was very quiet. He carried out his responsibilities as a father, as a husband, but he was very quiet. But then again, my father was is a man of a few words. But it sets me thinking, after going through 2 days of this very enlightening journey, apa yang boleh aku buat? Apa yang boleh saya buat? Saya tak tahu macam mana nak tepuk bahu bapa saya. Ayah, are you okay? It doesn't come natural, right? Ayah, kenapa ayah termenung? Have we ever done that? Have any one of us ever done that? I wouldn't want to make death overly dramatic. But, you know, dalam hidup ini, kita juga harus hormat, bukan hormat lah, kita juga harus menghargai the legacy of the living and the legacy of those who has passed on. Yesterday I mentioned something about benda-benda remeh-temeh, peninggalan, legacy, peninggalan orang-orang yang telah meninggal. Benda-benda remeh-temeh seperti how certain things are arranged at home. You know, you open your cupboard, how certain things are arranged. You know, if your wife or your mother or your father would was always the one who arranged the clothes, then one fine day that person passes on, then you realize, I will never have that again. This cupboard will never be the same again. Then yesterday we had a caller who misses her mom's asam pedas. Yeah? Simple as that. We talk about legacy. Legacy tak semestinya benda-benda harta ataupun or the things that they leave behind, the wealth that they leave behind, but also saya rasa peninggalan tu sebenarnya termasuk nilai-nilai, ilmu-ilmu dan juga perasaan yang kita kongsi bersama. Saya ingin mengajak penonton di rumah sekiranya terdorong untuk menelefon ataupun berkongsi kisah, sila scan QR code yang berada di layar komputer ataupun layar TV kamu. Please scan. If you wish to share a story, we will gladly hear you out. Ya, saya minum air je. This song, if you're familiar with Afwan's plucking, it's called Tears in Heaven. If you're familiar with the history of the song, Eric Clapton wrote this song for his son who passes on at a very young age. And that's legacy, you know. His grief is shared by millions of people all over the world, generations of people all over the world. It helps so many people, right? So, please allow me to continue the second letter. This letter is sent by MK. She wrote this letter for her abang, for her brother. Hello, abang. How are you over the other side? I really miss you. Pemergianmu tidak boleh kulupakan. Abang, you were really a kind, nice, and genuine person, but you don't see that in yourself. Instead, you see yourself as all the bad qualities. It's not true. Kita manusia biasa. To err is human. You were the best brother anyone could ask for. I remember you protected me when I got bullied. You were there for me, but I wasn't there for you during your darkest times. I wish I could turn back the time to tell you, I'm here. It's okay, and everything will turn out to be okay. But it's easier said than done. I guess depression swallowed you up, kicking you to the curb and leaving you with no choice. The only thing that made me glad is that you are no longer in pain, mentally and physically. It's been almost 3 years. Still painful thinking about it. I hope you are in peace over there. I will always keep you in my prayers. Air dicincang tidak akan putus. You will still be my brother, even till the end of time. I love you, Abang. This letter, like many letters that we've read, talks about, dia sangat berat, it's heavy with guilt. Selalunya apabila kita mendapat berita kematian, benda pertama yang kita mungkin akan terfikir adalah, apa yang aku cakap kat dia sebelum dia pergi. Usually when we receive news of death, we would, think about the last thing we've said to that person. Now with the advances of technology, we can actually scroll the last few messages, right? So sometimes when we scroll, probably we picked up hints that this person is not well, or this person needs help. And then we said to ourselves, maybe if I just said, okay, jomlah kita jumpa sekejap. Or, how are you? Is there anything I can do for you? Really, how are you? Then you yourself would feel better lah. There are also instances that caregivers for terminally ill patients feel the great guilt in them. If you have ailing parents at home, and you take care of them, usually it's a very lonely process. If you have parents with Alzheimer's, it's even more confusing. At times, you might feel, kenapa? Why? Why am I the one being here, put in this place, taking care of this person who no longer remembers who I am? And then when a person passes on, you are filled with grief. You are filled with so much emotions that you tend to salahkan diri sendiri. Yesterday, the caller actually said something which stuck with me in my head until now lah, when I go home on my motorbike. And then this morning, when I was doing, what I was supposed to do, doing my things the whole day, she said this, mak kita masak tak sedap pun, kita makan. Even if your mom cooks food that is not delicious, we must still eat. But then she has the benefit of retrospect, right? Of looking back. Yeah, I should have whatever. So, what I would like us to think about is, apakah peninggalan perlu, let me reframe that, apakah sesebuah kematian tu perlu diisi dengan rasa bersalah? Boleh tak kita isi kematian dengan rasa bersyukur, dengan apa yang telah ditinggalkan kepada kita, persahabatan, ikatan kekeluargaan, perhubungan yang erat sebelum orang tu pergi. You know? Maybe I can read to you a letter that may put things into a different perspective, yeah? This person never met this person never met this being that she wrote to. Okay? It reads like this. To my angel, it never gets better. Every other day, in random pockets of the day, I would imagine what it'd be like if you were around. Not a day passes by where I don't have you running around in my mind, but I know that you're playing with your many friends up there. I still can never form the right words to express how I truly feel, or what to say to make it better. But I hope that one day, when you, me, Mummy, and your little sister see you one day, you'll be happy and we would be complete again. With love, Daddy, Mummy, and your rainbow sister, A.M. We thank all these contributions of letters for being so generous, for the courage to put forth your vulnerability. We do have a caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Hello. Would you like to introduce yourself, or you would rather not?
I'm Mastura.
Hi, Mastura.
Hello, DJ Big.
Hello, Mastura. Terima kasih kerana menghubungi kami. Would you like to share your story?
Sure. Actually, my story is not that long. When I heard the first letter was about
the mum.
It's from Sherry, the mum, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the mum passed on. I was just because I also lost my mum to cancer in 2016. Yeah, so it's thank you. So I just want to say that I just miss my mom. Yeah, that's all.
Are there people that you can say these things to often? Or is it just always you saying those few words to yourself? I miss you, Mum.
I do. I share with my husband that I miss my mom. So I do have people around me lah.
If you can,
so actually share.
Most of these letters that we read are expressions of things that they would have said to the people if they were given the opportunity to. Would you like to say anything to your mum?
It's been about 5 years, right? since my mom has passed on. So, I mean, I guess we are all, so my sister, my brother, and myself, we are doing okay. It's just my dad lah. So sometimes I worry about him because he doesn't talk much to us. So, but yeah, we just try to understand him lah. And whatever he is, try to figure out whatever he's feeling and whatnot. Because my dad doesn't really share much about how he feels about the loss, about my mom passing away. Because he's a very, very practical person. So just, I mean, if I am able to share with my mom, I just want to say that we are doing okay. Just worried about my dad. That's all.
Mastura?
Yeah.
You mentioned that your dad is quiet, right?
Yes.
And that is his way of dealing with the loss.
Yeah. Because my mom was like such an important person in his life lah. So like the loss of a best friend.
Yeah.
I guess that's what he is going through.
Mm. So right now, without his best friend, he has changed to become a quiet person. Or has he always been quiet even when your arwah mom was around?
He's very much withdrawn. He's very much withdrawn to himself.
Mm. What is the best thing that your mom has left behind?
Memories. And her laughter. It's contagious laughter, very loud, hearty laughter. Whenever they watch a show on TV or something, ketawa dia.
Satu blok boleh
dengar.
Yeah. Yeah, satu blok boleh dengar, yeah. Yeah. And now that block is void of those laughters. Yeah. Mastura, we thank you for calling. We thank you for your generosity. If you need to speak to anyone, please stay on the line. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
No, that's all. Thank you so much for having this space.
Is it important that you actually let it out of your system to say those few words to a jama'ah of people that you don't know?
It feels good.
Yeah, feels good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mastura.
You're welcome.
Perhaps tonight is as such a somber evening, but we must remember, in dealing with death, we must always remember the welfare of the living, to live and leave well. The legacies that we leave behind. The words unspoken, yes, they are important, but what is more important are the words that are shared. The communication between family members, the sharing of wishes, of thoughts, of grief. Before I leave this segment, izinkan saya menyampaikan serangkap pantun. And this pantun has been with us, at least for the Malay community, for many years. 50, 60, 70 tahun mungkin ya. Mungkin lebih dari itu. Terkandung dalam sebuah lirik lagu. Izinkan saya membacanya. Burung merpati terbang 1000, hinggap seekor di tengah halaman. Hendak mati di hujung kuku, hendak berkubur di tapak tangan. Kalau tuan mudik ke hulu, carikan saya bunga kemboja. Kalau tuan mati dahulu, nantikan saya di pintu syurga. With that, I thank you for sharing this space. I thank you for your generous attention. Dan saya ucapkan selamat malam kepada semua. Selamat malam.